Right, so now that I've done all the painting and fitted the big wheel arches, I needed to do something in order to fill them up, because the wheel arches look a bit big for those wheels. The wheels look kind of lost in there. So went onto Facebook and eBay, managed to find a set of Isuzu, genuine Isuzu wheels, and they're ones off of a model called an XTR apparently, which is a bit of a special edition, and this is them. Got 5 of these and they are a lot bigger than what's on there. So as well as these absolutely pucker wheels, I also got online and bought a set of wheel spacers from Brute Status. That box says rear, well, I don't know between the rear and the front ones are, but I've got the hub-centric spacers, 35mm. So I'll put these on first, and then get these on and see if they fit all right. So that sticker shows you how new they are. It's never been on a car, they've never been driven. You can see they're all basically brand new, and the guy that's selling them, really genuine fella. Hopefully if he sees this video, you know you are. Thanks ever so much for selling me these. They're a cracking looking set of wheels and tyres, and I hope they look really, really good on this car, but we'll see that later on in the video. I mean, I know this doesn't really show us because the car's a lot lower than it would be when the wheel is on there, but look, that's a little bit tight there, and it's a little bit tight there. So hopefully once the car's jacked up and the wheel's on it, and it's obviously sitting, the car will be sitting much higher up here, I'm hoping that they fit. I don't want to start cutting those arches back because I don't really know how to do that without making a right mess out of it, so I'm hoping I don't have to cut them. Right, I've fitted the wheels on, put the spacers on first and then put the wheels on, and we've run into a little snag. Alright, and that little snag is the size of these wheels inside these arches. As you can see there, it hits it. So what I'm thinking, and God knows if this is going to go right or not, is I'm going to get the grinder and I'm going to cut straight down there like that, so that gives me a flat surface for my mud flap that I'm going to put in there to kind of bolt to, and also give me quite a bit of room for the wheel to kind of miss it. So this is what I'm thinking about cutting out, this wedge here, and what that will do is that will allow the mud flap to kind of hang back like that, a bit away from the wheel, which stops it from sort of snagging on the wheel when you go into reverse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at cutting that out. What could possibly go wrong, right? Right, I got a little tip here. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but what I want to do is inside this wheel arch, where that bit is I'm going to cut out there, I want to get that across their level, right? Obviously if I put a spirit level on there and the truck isn't level, that's going to be dead level, but it won't be level to the truck. So I've come up with an idea. I've got this device, which is a trend level box. And what you do is you put it onto things and press 0, and it levels from the thing you're on. So if I put it on, it's on the roof now, so if I press 0, I can do it without moving it. Let's try that again. So now that's leveled to the truck, so if I go either way that way, it doesn't matter if the truck isn't level. So I put that on there and get it dead level like that. That's level to the, that's level to the, you know, gravity. If I put this on top, it's 2 degrees out from actual level. So if I go that way, like that, that's now, I've gone too far, let's go back. There we go, about, oh, too much. There. Right, so that's level to the truck not to gravity. Not to gravity, right? So I put that on there. According to the bubble, it's well out. But because this, I've laid it down, it's gone funny. But because this is level to the truck, if I put that anywhere on the truck, it's always going to give me the same angle that the truck is at, because it's sitting on the jack at the moment and one of the wheels off the ground, the other one isn't. So now hopefully when I cut across there, that's going to give me a dead straight line when the truck is back on its wheels. Right, there's my cut line, and I'm hoping that once I've cut that I can get the mud flap kind of material in there. It go right across sort of there, and then it will hang down here. So when I start cutting, there's no going back. So yeah, wish me luck with this. I mean, it's close, but there is a gap, so I reckon that's a good shout. Right, if I put a mud flap in there now, that'll look pretty good. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Right, I'm getting the same problem around the front as I am around the back, but now it's touching on the front and the back. So I'm going to have to do the same here, take a little nibble out of that to try to get a mud flap sort of in there. And then also here, it's catching here. So I was wondering if I could kind of cut down that edge there and then maybe push that in and then re-glue it. I don't know. To try to just sort of take a bit here but not leave a hole, because obviously if I cut down there I'm just going to go a big hole there. So if I cut down that line, that curve, I might be able to get some play on this fiberglass to push it into inside here a bit to maybe about there. Not sure how much room I'm going to need until I start cutting, which is a bit annoying. Let's get on with it, shall we? Looks good though.
Fine, plenty of space.
That way.
Fine.
Back, loads of room?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Still quite close that side then.
What side?
That side. Don't touch him.
Touch it.
Front.
Front?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. What's she doing? catching everywhere. Right, a little status update. I've had to do a bit of cutting to get the front ones on, and when I say a bit, I mean a lot. I've had to cut pretty much everywhere. So I've had to cut this part of this metal inner arch out all the way down here to the bottom in that bit there. The plastic part, the wheel arch liners, had to been cut out. I've had to heat that up and melt it. I've had to cut the wheel arch out all the way back to there. And around the front, I've had to cut a V out of this bit, and I'm going to push that part into it. That's why the tape's there holding it at the moment. I've had to cut this bit here, and I may still have to trim a bit of this, because these wheels are touching literally every single place they could touch. Oh, and I've jacked the suspension up by about 2 inches on the torsion bar. So we're going to have another test fit now. Right, clearance test. Keep going. Deary me. Okay. Come on, back out. No, Joe, thank you. On the other side, I've measured up from the bottom here, and it's about 200 mil is how far I've gone up on the other side when I've cut. So I'm going to mark that on here. Put a bit of tape on this first. Now I didn't do that on the other side. What I've done is I drew straight on the arch with a permanent marker, but obviously if I get it wrong, I then can't get the permanent marker off. So I thought this side I might just as well tape it and draw with a permanent marker on the tape, because then if I mess it up I can just take the tape off and I can do it again. So there's my level for the cut across, and now what I need to do is I need to mark from here down to where I want to take it off and then draw a line up. This is my conforming straight edge. I've cut this with a ruler so it's dead straight, and now what I do is I put it on the top mark and bend it right round to where I think it should be underneath, and it kind of gives me a straight line as best I can get around the wheel arch. It's probably a more professional way of doing it than that, but a bit of cardboard's all I've got. Let's do the same again on the front edge. So what I do is I cut down both those lines, take that section out, and then push the inner bit that way to kind of flatten it out, still retain this part of the inner arch here. I just want it to move further away from the wheel. Right, so I'm going to get my PPE on, because fiberglass dust is no joke, and then I'm going to do a bit of careful cutting. This bit just moves forward to there, and that should then be out the way of the wheel. But from the other side I know the wheel is catching this part here, so I don't know whether I can just sort of slice that bottom part off there, and back here on the other side cut that right out, because the wheel still interferes right into here, so that's got to come out. This wheel arch liner kind of comes out, all of this here, and I cut all of that out because the mud flap's going to cover all of that right up into there like that. So if I get my ruler and put it like that, that's kind of how the mud flap is going to go, because they're about 400 wide, which is roughly where my thumb is. So they should go right into there and cover all of that up nicely. So yeah, let's just get on with cutting all that out now. Right, so I've cut this side down to match the other side, so this is matched to the other side. I've cut a little bit out. This the wing here. This is the actual wing of the car. That should allow the wheel to sort of swing around in that arc there. And then over this side, I've cut a wedge out the front and pushed that lip back towards it. I've glued it on with some like tiger seal type stuff. It's polyurethane adhesive. I've put a bit of that behind here, and this is now glued to the bumper, which will make taking the bumper off quite interesting, but hopefully I'll never have to do that again. I'll fill that once I've got it in the right, I'll make sure it's in the right place. So I'll make sure I fill and make that look nice again. I've cut that little bit off the bumper there. I'm not sure if I nibble that off or not. I guess we'll see. I'm going to have a test fit of the wheel in a minute and see if it clears everywhere, or whether I have to do any more trimming. Right, so to understand where this wheel is going to sit when the truck is actually on its weight, rather than keep taking the truck off the stand and putting it back on its wheels, what I've done is I've come up with an ingenious, well, I think it's ingenious, it might be stupid, ingenious plan to understand where the wheel's going to be when it's on its weight. Alright, so what I've done is this. I've got this stick, and what I've done is I've taped it onto the wheel, and the distance between the tyre at its widest out point, which is 9 o'clock, to there is 8 inches, and that is the gap between there and there if the wheel was touching the wheel arch. Now I don't think the wheel's ever going to be able to get right up to there, but that's the maximum, and that's the distance I'm working from. Right, so I've made that the same, and now when I turn it, it's pretty close, but it does miss. There you go, see, look, it does kind of miss. Well, if I turn it back a bit, let's have a look there. I think that this might be chucking, it's got to stay like that, right? Because if I go like that, it catches, but I'm obviously throwing the pivot point out by like two inches or so. So if I'm like that, that's going to give me the position of the tyre as far out as it could possibly go. It does miss all of that inner arch there. The only thing it does come close to is that thing, the part of the chassis there, and it's really close to that, but that's its maximum, you know, the full lock on full compression on this side of the suspension. So I don't think that's going to be a massive problem. Let me know what you think about my clearance gauge that I've made up. Is it going to work? Is that going to be accurate, or is this just total nonsense? Am I going to rip all the inner arches to pieces when I put it back together? Let me know. Right, well, I just did a turn-in test. It didn't catch. I couldn't see the other side, I can only see the driver's side. But because I've done it both the same, hopefully the result will be the same both sides. I guess a road test is probably the next thing to do, with an easy, simple, smooth drive around the block, just to see, you know, when the suspension's settled, if it's in the same position still, because it might sink a little bit once it's moving. It does tend to happen like that when you jack the car up and let it down. When you drive it, it does tend to sink a little bit, but at the moment it's really close to the back there, but it is missing, so fingers crossed we don't have any striking anywhere, because I can't actually cut this really back any further, because it would mean cutting that bolt off, and I'm going to lose some of the sort of you know, some of the support on the wing there if I cut that off. Right, okay, we're at the end of this video. As you probably gathered, it really isn't still right. The wheels are far too close to certain parts of the body, and I'm not entirely happy with that. So what we're going to do is lift the body up off the chassis. I've bought a body lift kit from Milner's, and in the next video what we're going to do is lift the body up off the chassis by 2 inches and hope that their wheels then clear the body enough so that I can drive the thing and not worry about ripping parts of the bodywork off. So see us on the next video. Hopefully that will sort it all out, and if you like what you've seen so far, like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up. It does really help me to get a bit of motivation to stick the next video out, but I do enjoy doing it anyway, so I hope you enjoyed watching. See you next time.